What a discography.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. This is Sabbath Sunday. Hopefully, you've caught the previous episodes. If not, I'm Jason. With me is Tim
Hola.
and Bill.
Won't find no fluff here.
And we are using Sabbath Sunday to get through these longer discographies where we're just listening to these albums over the course of months and ranking them as we go. If you want to see all the bullshit that keeps us busy in between these Black Sabbaths, give us a subscribe. Check out Modern Baseball. Check out Seven Spires. Check out our 1990s album of the decade. All that good stuff.
Yeah. We did some Corrosion of Conformity. We did some Nickelback.
Yes, we did do Nickelback. We did Creed too.
Yeah.
We did some sloppy seconds, some propaganda.
Ramones.
We don't just hit that algorithm. We do the bands that we want to fucking do, which is the whole point of the show. I pick a band,
which is why we're here on Sabbath.
Yes, Tim picked Sabbath, and we said, you know what, we can't do this in like 2 weeks. This is going to take some time. We're going to take our time with Sabbath. So, speaking of that, we're talking Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Album 5. Tim, you want to start us
Wait
off?
for that artwork episode, huh?
Oh, yeah. At the end, Is It Art Black Sabbath is going to be a good one. I can't wait to talk about that. But we're talking 666 Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Tim, why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, I mean, what better place to start than with the title track, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath? So they were having a little bit of writer's block after Volume 4. You know, as we said, there was a lot of extracurricular activities with that album. And the creative well was starting to run dry a little bit. And then Tony Iommi came up with the riff to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And it all just kind of snowballs from there. Classic song, amazing riff. One of my favorite covers of Sabbath, and there's a whole slew of them out there by a million amazing bands. But I personally love the Anthrax cover of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Fantastic. National Acrobat. Just a massive riff, great lyrics, amazing arrangement. Top song contender. I love that song. Fluff is, Tony Iommi has already introduced the idea that he's going to insert little instrumentals in between a couple of the songs for some color. That's what you get here. It's great. Sabracadabra. Wow. Again, just another amazing riff. I think Ozzy sounds amazing on this track. Like, the vocals on this thing are among the best he does in his entire career, which we'll get to in a later album here. But and then the keyboard was played by Rick Wakeman from Yes. They were in the next studio down the hallway, and Rick and Ozzy would stay up all night chatting, and became really good friends. So that's Rick Wakeman from Yes, and his son Adam is going to be part of this story in a bunch of albums after we come out. And then we move to and we should also mention that the one Black Sabbath song that Metallica has chosen to actually record was Sabracadabra. Then side two. Man, side two is so good. Starting with Killing Yourself to Live. Absolute top song contender. I love the guitar. I love the little space laser that's in there. It's so cool. And then great lyrics. And then just what a great concept. Killing yourself to live. I think we can all relate to that on some level. Who Are You is strange. It's it's the song that Ozzy brought in. That's a entirely Ozzy song. And if you read his book, you know that he bought the little Moog synthesizer and was just messing around. And that's what they came up with. I think the lyrics on that one are really good. Um, and then, so one of the, we're going to close with Looking for Today and Spiral Architect. And the first copy of this album I ever owned actually had those flipped on the track list where it was a misprint. And then it was correct on the CD. It was either incorrect on the CD and correct on the booklet or whatever, but I could never figure out which one was what for the longest time. Um, but of course, now I know which one is which. And they're both top song contenders. I think fr- front to back, this is an incredible Black Sabbath album. I don't get to say this too many more times. So if you watched our Ramones videos, well, if you haven't, you should, because those were a lot of fun, and the Ramones are great. There are three things in this world you can trust, just absolutely like will not let you down: yourself, the first five Ramones albums, and the first five Black Sabbath albums. Like, you know, you guys have heard them. You can't go wrong with these things. Um, I do. I love this album. This is. I can see where we might argue that this is the beginning of the end. I can see that argument. I don't necessarily agree with it. But we'll get into that on the next album. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say. I think the performances are all fantastic. The riffs are great. The mix is a little muddy in places, but I think that adds to the overall Sabbath aesthetic. You'll want it a little grimy, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
listening
you
to
don't know.
Iron Man clean. That's just wrong. Um, yeah, no, yeah, you guys go ahead, man. I do. I love this album. This was great.
Well, I've been told quite a few times that there's only three things in life you can trust. I've heard that before somewhere. One is
I'm
myself.
pretty sure it's on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's gonna be an ODD fucking old drunken discography on the front, on the back. Three things you can trust. First five Ramones records, first five Sabbath records, and yourself. Well, maybe the first four Sabbath records. I mean, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is kind of like shit. No, I'm just kidding. Fucking the main riff of the opening track. Holy shit. It's a fucking classic. The off timing and the quiet parts. Fill your heads full of lives, you bastards. Top song contender. It flows right into A National Acrobat, which has a similar riff to the opening track, but still completely different in tone and delivery. Multi-layered guitar parts just work together. Fluff, I still like Laguna better for the soft instrumental that Tommy does, but Fluff is no fluff. I did just love
I'm probably going Embryo at this point.
Embryo. What is that on?
The Master of Reality.
No, I go Laguna.
It's the one that leads into Children of the Grave, right?
Yeah, no, I put Fluff over that. Sabra Cadabra, for the first 2 minutes 43 seconds, you're like, okay, but then it gets really interesting. The keys, the pianos, there's a lot of shit going on in that song.
It gets super jazzy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit going on in that song. Killing Yourself, I'd like to say for you to do the same exercise, like I said in Volume 4, where you listen to the drummer. Instead of listening to Bill, just pay attention to the guitars on this record. This is a very guitar-driven masterpiece of an album. Some of Tony's best riffs. The solos on Killing Yourself to Live alone, just fucking...
I mean, honestly, like, you can hear the Nirvana in Killing Yourself to Live.
Yeah.
That little riff guitar part.
Yeah, it's like simple guitar, but like done like
well.
Yeah, it's like the grunge the grunge of 1973, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Who Are You? That's my low point. I think the lyrics are fine. They're great. The music's kind of blah, which I didn't know that was the Ozzy's written song. So
yeah, which, including his solo career, there aren't many of them.
Yeah. Looking for Today picks it back up. It's not the balls to the wall heavy shit from the past albums, but
when Ozzy goes up with that note when he says today,
yeah,
day,
like it's very radio
awesome.
Friendly. Like they're trying to get on the radio, they're just not. I don't know. I'll get to it when I get to the end of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic guitar. Spiral. This is my favorite song lyrically on the album. It's not as good as the past 4 closing tracks, but it's still a top song easily. Like the strings towards the back half are gorgeous. This is very like Ramones Into the Century, where you can hear them trying to be what they think people want and still producing something that the mainstream don't really want, but it's still like a gorgeous piece of music, like Into the Century. Like this, that's how I see Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. My only dip is Who Are You, and that's just music. You know, the lyrics are great.
That one's definitely a grower too.
Even that I wouldn't skip. Like, you know, I wouldn't skip it. So yeah, another fucking Sabbath album. You know.
Yeah, you guys have hit a lot of the stuff that I was going to bring up. I know as an opener, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, I felt like, again, we're comparing openers of Black Sabbath right now, which is a really tough list to compete against. I mean, I would argue Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath definitely can throw its weight in that fight more than doing so. Acrobat, again, Major Noise had it, felt like it was they're trying to sound like the Paranoid album, but they were trying to branch out and explore some other sounds. And yeah, I was definitely here for it. The quieter tone they had just worked great again. The outro, just circling back there, that was a very pretty closer. I thought it was a solid end to this album and how it was set up and how it sounded. I mean, yeah, Sabracadabra, my notes. I almost thought it was another instrumental, and then in came Ozzy. The rest is history. Yeah, just again, not a song to skip on here. Low point? What low point? I mean, Who Are You? You know, I'll agree with Jason. You know, maybe the low point of the album, but the low point of a Black Sabbath album is what most bands strive to get to.
Well, and let me ask you a question there, real quick. You're taking Fluff over Who Are You?
I'll take Fluff over Who Are You.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would.
Okay.
I like Fluff. Fluff's.
I mean, I like Fluff too, but if I had to pick a low point, that's like the obvious choice for me.
I mean, Fluff.
But I love Who Are You, so that little space is so spacey and just ethereal. It's a fun song.
I mean, it's
super doomy too.
Fluff, my exact notes are a slower, seemingly out of place instrumental, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
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 Like
yeah.
it's a beautiful instrumental.
yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful album, like
Yeah.
straight up. So.
Oh gosh, yeah.
What about that closing track though? Is that Spiral Architect? Is it a Under the Sun, Into the Void, Fairies Wear Boots, Bit of
I
Finger?
mean, I'd probably put it over Under the Sun. But man, it's hard to beat Into the Void. It's hard to
I
beat
mean,
Fairies Wear Boots. It's hard to. What's the
Yeah,
last one on the first album? Wicked World.
a bit of
I
finger,
mean,
a bit of finger for you.
if I had to say, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
this,
Bit of finger with Sleeping Village and Warning. Yay.
I'd say as an opening closing duo, I would say potentially one of the best ones so far, though, honestly, as a duo. Which,
I don't know. I don't know about that. Thor's got to beat
I mean,
Sweet
three.
Leaf.
Yeah,
Sweet
Sweet
Leaf,
Leaf and
dude.
Into the Void. Sweet
yes,
Leaf
Yeah.
and Into the. I mean,
they're,
War Pigs and Fairies Wear Boots.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're, I don't know.
fucking Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on Black Sabbath.
Well,
And a bit of
and that's why
finger.
we're here. These five albums, like, you can't rank them almost. They're all just so incredible, each and of themselves. And when you combine all five, like already, we've still got 15 albums to go. And we've already got one of the greatest discographies ever.
Handily.
Yeah. Like, you cannot go wrong with these five albums.
The color code will tell all.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, yes, it will.
Um, but we gotta rank them though. That's the rules of the show. So
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's real tough.
I had more low points on Master of Reality than I did Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. My conundrum lies with the first record.
Interesting. Okay.
'Cause think, I think I like it more than the first album. I think I like it more than the first. I know. Yeah, it's gonna be my number 3. I love Volume 4 and I love Paranoid. There is no low point on those two for me. And yeah, the low point on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath I wouldn't skip. But who are you compared to anything on those first two albums? Or the two that I have listed? Nah.
Yeah.
You're splitting hairs here. You're splitting fucking hairs.
Yeah. I mean, if it came down to it, no, never mind. Never mind.
You're splitting hairs. I mean, Master
Yeah.
Reality is just as good as. Yeah.
As any of the ones on the
Yeah,
board.
our rankings mean fucking nothing. Go listen to these 5 albums, basically. But Tim, where are you putting it?
Well, I've been listening to this band,
Yeah, you're the expert.
I mean, religiously for at least a decade and casually for a couple decades. So I've had a lot of time to think about this. And when it comes down to it, like, I love all of these albums, and I'm going to love a number of the albums that we're about to get to. But this one's my favorite.
Wow.
Like, whenever I go to the first 5 Black Sabbath albums and I go, which one do I want to listen to? If I can't make up my mind, this is the one I grab.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, you just don't roulette wheel and grab whatever one at random and listen to it.
Well, I mean, my favorite way is, like, just put them all on and hit shuffle. Like, honestly.
That's
But if that's not an option, like if you got the vinyl out, or
Yeah.
you only have like a 4 CD changer in your car or whatever.
So you kick out the self-titled when you only have a 4 CD changer.
I mean, I do think that this band started off with one of the greatest debut albums of all time and only gets better.
That's fair. What about you, Bill? You're still holding strong with album 1 and 2 in first and second.
yeah. I mean, gosh. I mean, my introduction to Black Sabbath was Paranoid,
I
which
mean,
is
that's everybody's
definitely,
introduction. Yeah,
yeah.
that's everybody's introduction.
I mean, and that's,
It's a tough one to beat.
It's a solid
yeah.
album all the way through.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
the
tough
one to
70s
beat.
version of
But
Nevermind.
that's every single one of these albums.
So
mean,
does that make Paranoid the song that smells like Teen Spirit?
Yeah. And then they
And so
perfected it.
Iron Man is Come As You Are, or is it Lithium?
That's Lithium.
Okay. Okay. Or is it In Blue? Oh man, I'm gonna think about that one for a while. That'll be fun.
oh gosh. I mean, it's just so hard comparing to all these. Um, tell you what. I mean,
And
I'm
there's no
splitting
wrong
this.
answer either, because it will change in 6 months.
Yeah,
It'll
you could
change
put
in
that bitch at
years.
5, and I'll be like, okay. But then I could also see it beaten. I could see it number 2. Like, there's no wrong answers here.
There's no wrong answers yet.
So, I'm gonna say it's above Volume 4.
That's so fucking wrong.
It's above Master of Reality.
I could see that.
See? Yet it's wrong.
I could see it being wrong too, man. Sweet Leaf is fucking.
Lord of this world, Into the Void, Children of the Grave,
Mm,
Sweet Leaf,
mm. Yep.
I think
Supernaut.
it's better.
Is it Supernaut on that one?
I think it's better
Or
than
no,
the
Supernaut's on
subtitle.
4.
Yeah, and Snowblind.
Oh yeah, Snowblind's so good. Tomorrow's Dream.
Sorry, Bill. What was you saying? This is your ranks.
It's. I think it's better than their self-titled. I mean, again, this is literally
You're splitting
damn
hairs
near
here.
impossible. This isn't even splitting hairs. This is looking at a hair.
But come on, I am Iron Man.
I already said that might be my low point of that album, which is a pretty goddamn high low point.
Okay, but fucking Rat Salad.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
Oh,
as I said,
Ooh, there's a good episode for us. Rat Salad or Moby Dick.
oh shit. Shit. Oh. I don't know. You have to break that down by like, okay, well the drumming in Moby Dick.
But the drumming in Rat Salad.
Yeah, oh, that would be tough.
But then you move to the riff, right? Well, because the riff in Moby Dick, that's great. But then
But
the riff in
in
Rat Salad?
yeah. That's gonna come down.
I'm gonna
to,
lock in number 2.
All right, number 2.
Strong
Just,
relief.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean you can't go wrong with Sabbath, but
Can
yeah,
you?
I mean,
Can you?
well, yeah, you can, but I'm gonna be the one to argue that you can't, because you can't go wrong with Tony Iommi.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, yeah, I have a last place.
All right, so we got up next Sabotage,
Yeah.
and we will be
Pleasant
covering
dreams.
The Devil You Know. We are ranking that along with the rest of our
Mhm.
Sabbath records.
I mean, the names are right there on the cover. You can't tell me that's not Black Sabbath. I don't care what Sharon has to say.
Yep. So stick around for that. Shout out to the Black Sabbath Discord who believes in heaven and hell. So, yeah.
Can't wait till we get to that one.
I don't know when this video is going to air, but hopefully stay tuned. We'll
It'll be
get
on
through
a
these
Sunday,
records.
right?
It'll be on a Sunday for sure.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Maybe New Year's? I don't know. Celebrate whatever holiday is closest to you. Pour one out for us. We need all the
It's
help we
almost
can get.
Toyota-thon.
Toyota
It is
Thon.
Toyota-thon.
It is. See, hey, it's always Toyota-thon somewhere.
Fucking Shark Week. Who the fuck knows?
Hey, don't talk bad about Shark Week.
I ain't talking bad about Shark Week. I love fucking Shark Week.
Best time of year is Shark Week.
Fuck yeah. Stick around for Shark Week. I don't know. Be safe. Make good decisions.
Hey, every week is Shark Week.
Every fucking week. It's Shark Week and Toyota Thon.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.